Hey everyone, it's Rena. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been quite a while since I've been on here. I always give the same excuse, but it's a real one. It's a reality. But school has been crazy. Grading, work, all that jazz, life stuff. But I had something I really wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about. So I wanted to set the time aside to come on, set up the lights, get everything together, put on my face, and do a video for you guys. So you might be guessing what it is from the lipstick I'm wearing. If you've, seen some sneak peeks of this collection, seen, other people using it, it is the Sugarpill and Little Twin Stars Pro Makeup Collection. So you guys know that I'm a huge Sugarpill fan. I pretty much buy whatever they put out. Not the entire set, but usually one or two things from a collection. Their Feline Fancy collection for Valentine's Day last year was one of my favorite products from last year, and in its entirety. And I love their liquid lipsticks. I'm not a huge fan of the regular lipsticks, but the regular liquid lipsticks, the original ones they put out, are great. So I'm generally a big fan of Sugarpill, and whenever I see them releasing something, I get very excited because it's not too often they put something out. So usually it's a big to-do. I think the last thing they put out was the full range of liquid lipsticks in like November. I think it was Black Friday. So they basically put out all the colors they have in their regular bullet lipsticks in liquid lipstick form. And to me, that wasn't really a super exciting launch, although I have finally bought a couple of them because, we've seen the colors before. So this was really exciting to me because this is like the first launch since then that I can recall that's been something brand new. So I was really excited. So you had a couple options with this collection, and you could either get the full set for $79, which came with a palette, 2 lipsticks, and a makeup bag, or you could buy the lipsticks separately as a duo, the palette separately, and those are your options basically. So the palette on its own is $38. The lipsticks together for 2 are $36, which is standard price for Sugarpill, $18 a lipstick. You don't really get a discount for buying the 2 because you're basically forced to buy both of them because of the storyline of the collection. If I'm a little washed out, I'm sorry. I can't really. It's nighttime now, so I can't really even put natural light in. So I feel like I'm a little washed out, but we'll live. We'll live. I am wearing my Trixie Mattel shirt today, so pretty jazzed. I felt like it kind of fit the pastel vibes we got going on. So I originally was only going to get the palette, and because I thought the lipsticks, I was convinced they weren't going to look good on me. I don't wear pink very often at all. If I do, it's like a purple tone pink. So when I first saw pictures of the lipstick, I thought it was going to be very neon corally pink, and I was like, oh, not good for my skin tone. And then when I saw the blue, it reminded me a lot of Jeffree Star's Breakfast at Tiffany's, which I've owned before, but ended up destashing because it just had a little bit too much of a white base to it, and it looked really not so great on my skin tone, and I never wore it because I never felt really confident in it. But I ended up caving, obviously, and getting the whole collection. Haven't really been buying I hadn't really been buying a whole lot of makeup up until this point. So this, to me, I was like, you haven't really bought a lot of stuff. You've been destashing. I don't want to say treat yourself, but treat yourself. And I had some birthday money. So I ended up going ahead and getting the full collection. So I'm going to show you what that looks like and then get into each product individually. So you get this in a nice collector's box. This is Little Twin Stars, which is a Sanrio property cartoon, basically. They also do Hello Kitty and all of that good stuff. I think they might do Gudetama as well, if that's how you pronounce it. It's a very logical collaboration, in my opinion, because the owner of Sugarpill is very much into Japanese culture and animation, and if you watch her Snapchat, she's always going to this, I think it's a pho place for a Gudetama pho restaurant, and museums and stuff like that for Sanrio, so it really makes sense. I am a Sugarpill fangirl, so of course, I watch all of the Instagram stories and stuff of Amy from Sugarpill. I love them. I love her cat, Turkey the Dumpster Cat. Oh my god. Love them. So this just makes sense. It just makes sense to me. I know a lot of people were like, who's Little Twin Stars? But I get that. I didn't necessarily grow up with Sanrio, so it wasn't something that I had a strong emotional connection to, but I do find them very cute. I find it appealing. I just think they're adorable. So, and the color scheme is very much something I'm interested in. So, basically, you get this beautiful kind of lilac-y, purpley pink packaging. Some of it's matte, and then you have some glossy, I hope you can see it. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there. Kiki and Lala, which are the two characters from Little Twin Stars. So you can see them kind of shining right there. And then you have this beautiful gold lettering and detailing, which I think is just beautiful. I love the details that go into Sugarpill packages. The side says Sugarpill Little Twin Stars, and the back has the same kind of glossy images. So when you open it up, it has a magnetized opening, which is really nice. And you get this, and it looks gorgeous. I'm sure if you're into Sugarpill, you've seen this already. But it has a beautiful, the top is my favorite. I don't know, it just looks so darling. It has a little star for the Little Twin Stars, and then the Sugarpill logo, and it's just kind of like argyled on the top. And then everything has a little compartment inside the box. The two lipsticks right here, which I've used them, so they're not really like facing forward. There we go. The palette and the makeup bag. So everything has its own compartment. I think it's beautiful. You can actually take this part out and it'll just be an empty box you can keep treasures in. It says on the bottom, actually, remove this tray and use this super cute box to store your favorite treasures. So that's kind of what it's intended to be. I will probably keep this on my bookshelf. I don't have a whole lot of space here to display things, so it's just kind of going to get tucked away in the bookshelf. What I'm really here for is the makeup, so let's just get into that. So I'm going to start off by showing you the makeup bag, I think, because it is it's just cute and it doesn't require as much explaining and thought behind it. It's a really nice bag. It has a very like matte type of feel. I really like it. It feels quality, as it should for the price of the whole collection, since this is exclusive to buying the entire collection. It's a really nice makeup bag or pencil case, whatever you want to use it for. I feel like in terms of Sanrio, this would be something you would see marketed as a pencil case in one of their stores, which I used to love going into, but I don't think they have it at the mall anymore that I used to go to. And the front has like this kind of cloudy, it's still transparent, but it is kind of a frosted look to it. I think it's really, really cute. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with this yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it to store the collection on my vanity, if I'm going to use this as a pencil case. I'm kind of worried if I use it as a pencil case, I'll just totally trash it, because that's normally what happens with my pencil cases. So it'll probably be just a display piece, and I might put the palette in here. We'll see how it goes. But it has really nice gold detailing with the Sugarpill logo. A nice hefty zipper, which has a really nice feel on opening. Silica packet, which, you know, boring, whatever. And it just has that gorgeous lilac-y shade on the inside. I love it. Little Sugarpill tag. I just think everything is so beautifully thought out in this collection, and I think it really does the property, the intellectual property that they're dealing with, justice, which is something that I feel like Sugarpill does well. You know, they did that well with Edward Scissorhands, and I think they exceeded expectations with this collaboration, in my opinion. I just think it's like next level for Sugarpill. So I guess I'll talk about the lipsticks next. I really love them. I feel really silly having said, like, I don't think I'm gonna like these, I'm not gonna buy them, you know, all of that, but they're great. So much so that I almost want a backup of this one. I know you can only buy them together, so if they're still around and I have a little extra cash in a couple weeks, I might go ahead and grab backups, because I really love this color. If I'm still using it, you know, consistently throughout the next couple weeks, I might go ahead and do that. So packaging is adorable, like all Sugarpill liquid lipsticks. I'm gonna actually, let me pull one out to compare regular packaging versus this special packaging. So this is a standard Sugarpill liquid poison, and it basically has white and pink with gold, and it's dripping, and it has this ombre effect into the actual color of the lipstick. So that's a pretty standard Sugarpill lipstick. This one, if you look at it, has the lilac. It's hard to tell, but it's the same lilac shade as the makeup bag and the outer packaging of the entire collection. On the, I don't know what you would actually call it. I guess it's like the stopper portion of the actual tube. It says Sugarpill Little Twin Stars, and then it has Lala and Kiki's over here, and Kiki. So I think it's really adorable. They're darling. My only concern is that the design will wear off. It feels flush with the container, but I can already see little scratches on this portion right here. So I'm a little worried. I know with my trinket tube, a lot of the design, I had the old limited edition one that, from the first round with, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but it's like Bay Bad Girl or something like that on Instagram. She had designed the illustration for the original trinket tube, and I have that, and it's scratched up to hell and back, basically, because I keep it in like purses and stuff, like you would normally throw, you know, a lipstick in a purse. So my concern is that you're gonna have scratches, and I hope that is not the case with this. I hope that these designs hold up because they are such collector's pieces. Obviously, if you're a hardcore collector, you're probably not going to be just, you know, using them, you know, hardcore like I am, but something to think about. So I'm going to go ahead and do swatches and let you guys know my experience with the lipsticks. I'm going to start off with Kiki. So obviously it's the one I'm wearing right now. I really love this lipstick. It goes on so opaque, really creamy, and it's just absolutely stunning. The applicator is a little bit different than other Sugarpill liquid lipsticks I'm used to, so I'm going to show you guys, yeah, it's definitely different. So I've had Trinket, Strangelove, and Kimchi before. This is the Kimchi applicator. You can see it kind of has a little bit of a dip in the doe foot, and it's one of those fuzzy doe foots. I really like this applicator. I just feel like it works so well with their formula. I usually can get a really nice coverage, and it just feels nice going on. This is different, and I'm not sure when they changed this, but it has more of a intense, like 40 degree, like a 45 degree angle is what I'm looking for. It's really late at night, and I've been reading academic work all day, so that's fun. My brain is melted. So yeah, like a 45 degree angle, and it kind of has like a diamond shape instead of just a traditional doe foot. So that part kind of collects a lot of product, you can kind of tell. But what's nice about it is that sharp tip right there really kind of gets the inside of like this portion of your lip, and also the oh my god, what's it? Cupid's bow, really nice and sharp. So that is a bonus. What's nice about Kiki, and I think Lala has this too, but it's more pronounced with Kiki. I'm going to go ahead and just try and activate it. Like Trinket and Kimchi, there's some sparkle, and I hope you guys can see, but it's going to be hard to show on camera. It's very apparent in person, but there's some gold shimmer. I don't know if you guys can tell. It's really beautiful. It's not like glitter. It's definitely just like a sheen. It really reminds me of Fiorne's Zanzibar eyeshadow, if you are familiar with that one. It's one of my favorite eyeshadows, so I was really excited to have it in a like liquid lipstick form, kind of. I've been wearing this all day. I have had to touch it up a couple times, which is pretty standard, mostly when I ate, honestly. Drinking, no problem. I'm able to drink out of cups. I'm able to, you know, drink out of straws without having any major transfer. But Sugarpill's formula is very comfortable. It's pretty lightweight. It goes on a little bit creamy moussey, but it dries down fairly nicely. I don't find it drying. It's somewhat moisturizing and hydrating in the beginning, but it will dry down throughout the day to be a little more, you know, I don't want to say drying. It's really not, but it's not moisturizing as the day goes on. But right in the beginning, it's not like a Kat Von D where it's just dried down like hard, if that makes sense. So I really love their formula. But because it's not like a bulletproof liquid lipstick, something like, you know, I ate Mexican food today, and it definitely kind of messed up the inner portion. But what's great about Sugarpill's formula is it is so easy to reapply. You don't even really need to take off the first layer. If you just have a couple places to patch up, it layers on top of the first original layer so well, to the point where like you can't even really tell that you have like multiple layers on or that you've reapplied. It just looks as if you put it on for the first time. And that's a real testament to their product, the fact that this formula is so easy to touch up. I think that's really important to me because I like a long-wearing liquid lipstick. I just do. And I need to be able to drink water throughout the day and not have an issue with it. It's like one of my biggest criteria. But I'm okay with reapplying if I have to, but if it's to the point where I have to take off the original lipstick, I'm not going to mess with it, and I'm going to move on and find something else. And that's what I like about Sugarpill, is it just, it wears nicely and you can reapply really easily. So let me guys, I say that like all the time. You guys have probably noticed that. It's just like my brain is going too fast for my mouth. Let me show you guys what La La looks like. And I was originally going to wear La La today, and I'll tell you why I didn't. I was trying on another lipstick last night. It's actually, here it is. It's from Notoriously Morbid. It's called Wiccan Friend, and it's a dark, dark, dark green. I only had it on for like a minute, and it stained my lips dark green. And I originally tried putting La La on this morning, but it just didn't cover the green. And I understand that, but you can kind of see, I hope, that La La is not as opaque as Kiki, and that could be because of the color. But I found that on the lips, even with 2 coats, it wasn't 100% opaque, which wouldn't be a problem on a normal day. But when I had the green poking through, it was just enough to make me lose my mind. So, like, I took it off and put Kiki on. So, it's not 100% opaque. 2 coats on totally bare lips, no staining, would be perfectly fine. I tried it on yesterday. It also has a slight sheen to it as well. I think it's also gold sparkle, but it just doesn't come through as strongly as Kiki does. I find that this also applies pretty nicely, other than being a little bit streaky, and it's a beautiful color. It's more bubblegum pink, as you can see, than like the coral I was expecting, so I'm really happy with that. It's actually a pink I think I can pull off, so I really do like that. One thing to note is I think these are supposed to have the same creamsicle scent as all other Sugarpill liquid lipsticks, but they smell more grapefruit. And so I've seen some reviews on this, and I've seen some people say, oh, it smells like grapefruit. Oh, it smells like creamsicle. And I'm just kind of like, which one is it, you know? And I got it, and I can totally see where people are coming from, because it smells like it's supposed to be like the creamsicle scent of like Trinket and all the other ones, but it has a little bit of a citrus bite to it that's not necessarily, to me, super pleasant. So it goes away after, you know, a minute or two of wear. It's not a big deal for me personally. Something to think about though. If you don't like grapefruit, for some reason they smell more like grapefruit than other Sugarpill liquid lipsticks. So that is Kiki and La La. So we're going to move on to the palette. This is getting to be a long video, but I expected it with so many components to talk about. This is a 6-pan eyeshadow palette. It comes in a slim, kind of, I don't know, almost looks like a Hershey's chocolate bar type size. Maybe a little bit bigger than a Hershey bar. But anyway, really cute. It has a plastic sleeve on it to keep it nice and safe, especially if you're going to be using this as like a collector's item. That plastic case is really nice. I've used all eyeshadows from this palette, so I can kind of tell you guys how they worked, how I think you should apply them. I'm going to be doing swatches with a brush, I think, just over primer. And I'll tell you guys how it works out. So this is what the back of the sleeve looks like. It has a really cute little illustration, and it tells you all of the different colors, their names, and the different textures that they have. So it says, Kiki and La La traveled to Earth to learn how to be the best, shiniest stars they can be. Now you can shine bright with them. These 6 delightful shades come in a variety of luxurious textures, all in ultra-pigmented, long-wearing formula. And it has the Sanbrio stuff, and it says that it is vegan and cruelty-free, which is awesome. So it's also something that people who choose vegan makeup can use, which I think is really, really nice. So this is the front of the packaging. It has both of the little twin stars on it, and they're kind of glossy, while the white part is more matte, which is cute. The back has the same image, I think, from the plastic, and it's just really, really adorable. So let's break into it. It originally had a plastic sheet covering the eyeshadows, which is always nice when you're first getting a brand new eyeshadow palette to kind of know it was extra protected. And then it has a nice little mirror with these clouds. There is a mirror protective, I don't know what you call it, like seal that I need to pull off still, so that's still on there. And it has Kiki and Lala looking adorable. They're on everything, you know, obviously that's kind of the brand, so. And there are the 6 shadows. They are very pastel. They are, I think, very much on brand for the Sanrio kind of characters, and I think they're very Sugarpill as well. Now, I have heard people say, you know, Sugarpill pastels aren't the best. I agree. I have the Edward Scissorhands palette, and while I really do enjoy it, they aren't as pigmented as other pastel shadows I've tried. So I went into this kind of keeping that in mind, thinking about the blue in the Edward Scissorhands palette, knowing like how to kind of finesse and work with them and make them work for me. So I'm going to tell you how each shadow worked and whether or not I think they're up to Sugarpill standards and whether or not I think it's worth it for you guys to pick them up. So typically Sugarpill eyeshadows will be sold, like if they're in a collaboration. So Edward Scissorhands, Feline Fancy, which was not a collaboration but was limited edition. Typically they will sell them in singles. They have said that this will not be sold in singles, I assume because of the licensing contract. So there's my leg. Hello, there's my cool tattoo. Anyway, they say that this will not be sold individually. So if you really like the shades, that's kind of a bummer, but I get it if it's a licensing thing. I'm going to bend this back and I'm going to hate myself for it, but I don't want to keep, you know, showing you guys all of that. So 6 shades, different textures, different finishes. I'm going to be reading off of this to tell you guys what Sugarpill says the textures are according to them. Let me go ahead and put some primer on my hands so we can do some swatches. And as I swatch them, I will be telling you guys about my experience with them over the last couple of days. So while I'm putting this primer on, I ordered the minute basically it released. I think it might have been like a minute before it technically was supposed to release, and I did not get it until 2 days ago. So I've been using it nonstop from those last 2 days. I've used every single product more than once, and so that's why I felt like I could come on and tell you guys what I thought. I've also used them over different primers and over different bases. So anyway, they did not ship it until I think Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Or it was Tuesday night. I think Tuesday night or Wednesday. I had a shipping label made for me the Friday after it came out, and I did not get it until Thursday. So once it shipped, it came super quick, but it did take a while for it to actually leave the Sugarpill warehouse and get to me. So that's kind of abnormal. I know that they definitely said, like, because of the launch, it might take longer for it to, like, move in terms of your tracking, but usually that's not the case, and I was, again, within, like, the first minute, so I was kind of shocked. But anyway, it was all packaged nicely. I still got it within a week, so I'm not too mad about it at all, but, you know, just something to think about. So I'm going to start off with Cloudmaker, which is a foiled shadow. It's kind of a baby blue silver metallic. I did say I was going to do brush swatches. Look at me. So I'm going to use my typical Urban Decay eyeshadow brush. Let's do Cloudmaker. These are huge pans, as is pretty standard for Sugarpill. They usually are pretty large. So this is the swatch of Cloudmaker. Kind of see how metallic it is. It is a silvery blue. This one I found I did not need to use it wet to get it to be like full pigment, which is great. It worked really well as an inner corner shade, and it lasted all day at that same full intensity. I never had to use it wet. I really do think it's a beautiful shade. I don't use silver too often, but I can see myself, you know, reaching for this as an inner corner with this palette. So that one was good. Really good application. Really good lasting power. I did enjoy Cloudmaker. I'm going to move on to Star Ribbon, which is this shade right here, the matte. Yes, it's a matte. Matte kind of aqua, I guess, aqua mint. And yeah, You're seeing that, guys. It's really not that great. It's definitely not very pigmented. I wore it yesterday as a crease shade, and while I really liked it in my look yesterday, I worry what a lot of people will think that this is their first impression of Sugarpill color, because a lot of the shades in this palette you can see are not exactly like bam in your face like most Sugarpill shadows are. So if this is like, oh man, you look at the aqua and you think, man, I really wanted to try Sugarpill's color, and then you get that, I worry that that'll be people's first impressions of it, and they'll be totally just like turned off to it, and they won't want to try anything else. Star Ribbon is a beautiful shade, and it's a shade that I think needs to be used over a white base to really get it to pop. And even in that case, I still think it's very pale, and that's the point. It's supposed to be a pastel color, but it's not this. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the same, this is supposed to be the Kiki color of the palette. This is the Kiki lip color. I just think it's not there. I did use it as an crease shade yesterday, and it worked for me because I was teaching yesterday and I wanted to have like a bit of my personality but still be professional enough, and so I just did like, you know, a light wash of color in the crease, and I did get a compliment. Somebody did like my makeup yesterday, but it's not the best blue. It's one of those things where like it is very powdery to the touch, and with a brush it does kick up powder, and with that I think that adds to the kind of like difficulty in using it. So it reminds me a lot of the light blue from the Edward Scissorhands palette, where it's not exactly like punchy, and it's just kind of like, I don't know. So something to think about. It's not my favorite. It's not my least favorite from the palette, but no. Okay, so here's Twinkle Twinkle. That is this gold shade. Okay, let's see how these swatch. Some of them go on the eye better than they swatch, just for the record. Okay, this is Twinkle Twinkle. It is a foiled shadow, kind of like Cloudmaker. There it is. It's a yellow gold. I don't usually like gold at all, but yellow golds are really pretty to me, and I really like the color of Twinkle Twinkle. It reminds me of a shade I really liked from Notoriously Morbid. I think it was called Belle's Bounty, and it's just a beautiful metallic gold. Now, you can kind of probably tell from the swatches, it's not exactly the most pigmented gold in the world, and it is a little crumbly in the pan. So that's one thing I'm not a big fan of. You can see it's not like super, see how Cloudmaker is very in-your-face metallic. Twinkle Twinkle doesn't quite go there. I definitely had to use this one wet, and I used it on my inner corner today. I don't know if you can really, I know I'm like super washed out in terms of my eye makeup, but I used it on the inner corner today, and it was beautiful wet, but I had to apply wet. I tried it dry, and you could kind of see a little bit, but they're just like, it wasn't sticking, and I think that's the thing. The texture of it is kind of crumbly, and so what happens is you go to put it on the brush, and it just doesn't want to stick to the bristles, and then it won't stick to the eye. So this is one that's going to have to either be put on top of a sticky base or used wet, and I highly recommend using it wet. It's a gorgeous shade. It does last long once you do wet the brush and apply it that way, but it's one of those where you do have to use it wet. Now, we're going to get into my favorite color from the entire palette. Dream Dust. Who would have expected that? Not me. I was not expecting this to be my favorite shadow of the entire palette. What? Well, I don't even know, guys. This one is a Frost, and I really love this shade. I've worn it both days I've used this palette, and I'm honestly shocked. It's going to be really hard for you guys to see because it's like a tan shade, but it has a pink shift. I don't know if you can see it. It's so close to my skin tone. It has like a pinky gold shift. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous shadow in terms of color and texture. This one is just like, I wish the rest of the palette was this formula. It's so dreamy. It's called Dream Dust. It totally lives up to it. It is Dream Dust. It's on the center of my lid, but I know you guys can't really tell. It's amazing. It just is the perfect, like, barely there eyeshadow for me, but it has the pinky, like, gorgeous shift to it. I'm not sure how well most of this palette would work on deeper skin tones, but for me, it does work really well. that's something to think about. I think the lipsticks would look gorgeous on deeper skin tones, but the eyeshadows, I'm just, other than maybe Twinkle Twinkle and Wish, I'm not sure how much versatility someone would get out of this palette who's not, like, pasty like me. But Dream Dust is gorgeous. I do think it would make a beautiful face highlighter. I know that Sugarpill was kind of marketing this palette as something you could use as a highlighter palette as well, which to me is, I get where they're going with it. Like, this kind of looks like Fenty. I can never remember what it's called. It's 24 karat? I don't know. But it reminds me of the Fenty highlighter. This one I could see, and maybe Cloud Maker I could see, but Dream Dust, I did use it as highlighter yesterday. I did like it. It was maybe a touch too dark for me, but it definitely looked nice. It's the most beautiful lid shade. It lasts so long. It's one of those shades that when you put it on, it looks a little questionable, and then it, like, melts into your skin throughout the day. I don't know if you guys have, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I might sound crazy, but I've had shadows where they just, like, it doesn't look great, and then, like, as it just kind of, like, wears, it looks better and better, and that's totally what Dream Dust is. Not to say it doesn't look good when you first put it on, but, and this is one that I only needed to apply it over primer. I didn't need to put it over any type of base. It just looked great. So, really love Dream Dust. Next one is Sky Candy, which I can actually see myself hitting pan on. This is Sky Candy. I do have it on today. Again, you can't really tell. It's on the inner corner and outer corner, and in my crease a little bit. If I want to make life harder for myself, I will put in pictures of the look I did yesterday and the look I did today at the end, just so you can see photos and see the colors actually, like, in reality. So this is Sky Candy. It is a pink shade, and this is supposed to be a frost as well. This one is also, I just want to show you guys. Can you see how powdery it is? I think you can kind of tell. It's super powdery. It has a ton of fallout in the pan and on the eye, so you got to be careful. It's right there, and it's hard to see. It's a peachy pink with frosty type of tone to it. I'm so upset that you guys can barely see him, but, like, I was kind of expecting this since the whole palette is kind of light. I'm wearing it as a blush today, and I wore it on my eyes. It is a gorgeous blush. I think on someone with deeper skin tones, it could be a blush topper, but for someone with nice skin tone, or maybe a touch darker, but not very much, it's a good blush. It's also a really pretty eyeshadow. It's just really nice, but it is crumbly. It does have fallout issues, and I have to apply it over a white base to get it to stick and to get it to pop. So that is kind of an issue, but as a blush, no problem at all. It goes on beautifully as a blush, with just minimal shimmer, even though it is a frost. It just looks gorgeous. So, I like it. Will it be my go-to pink eyeshadow? No. It's one of those things where if I was specifically wanting to use this palette, I would definitely use Sky Candy. But, you know. So the last one is called Wish, and it is a sparkly bronze. This is a foiled one, just like Twinkle Twinkle. So let's go into Wish. And this is my least favorite in terms of color. It is not a color I wear ever, honestly. So it is basically a very warm tone coppery bronze. It has okay-ish pigmentation. It's kind of on the level of Twinkle Twinkle over here. Definitely needs to be used wet. It has that same foil texture where it's crumbly, and I just don't think that it's 100% amazing. I have Moneymaker from Sugarpill, which is a foiled shade, and I think it's amazing. And it doesn't really have the issues that these do. I mean, it is a little crumbly, but it doesn't have as much of an issue, so I was a little surprised, but definitely those shades, the foil shades, need to be used wet. Wish is okay, it works alright on the eye, but again, using it wet is going to make it 1,000 times better. So this video is already way too long. It's going to take me forever to upload. I'm looking at it, I'm just like, oh. So, my overall thoughts. I enjoy the palette. I enjoy the looks I'm making from it. I do like it. I don't feel like I wasted my money. I love Sugarpill, so I'm really happy with having the colors. That Dream Dust is absolutely stunning. I love it. I love using Sky Candy as a blush. Cloud Maker is a great shadow, and I like Twinkle Twinkle as an inner corner. Star Ribbon, if you're like, I really want a bold mint shadow, do yourself a favor and get Mochi instead. Or Kimchi if you want like a robin's egg blue. They're going to definitely serve you better than this. So if you were going into this thinking, man, like I just really want this blue shade, don't do it for that. If you are a Little Twin Stars fan, like you love them, I would get this. I think it's a great collection. I would get at least one piece from it, whether it be the collection of lipsticks or the palette. I think you're going to really enjoy it. If you're someone looking to branch out into color and you're thinking Sugarpill, oh yes, this is going to be great, don't do it. It's not bold. It's not, you look at this and, I mean, I know it's pastel, but it still looks somewhat bold because you have a pink, a blue, a gold. It's just not 100% there. It's just not 100%. So I like it. It lasts throughout the day. It has good wear. It definitely wears gracefully. It's beautiful. But application-wise, there are some issues, and pigmentation-wise, I know they're supposed to be pastel, but even for pastel, this one's pretty weak. So I would definitely recommend trying, if you try this palette out, play around with different application techniques. Use some of them wet. Use some of them over different primers. Use some of them over sticky bases. The NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil and Milk is great for this. The lipsticks are flawless. The only thing is that Lala is a little sheer, needs 2 coats, but other than that, they are both stunning. They have great texture. So I'm happy with the collection. For me, it's not necessarily something I think everyone's going to love, and I am disappointed in that Star Ribbon shade. I just thought it would be a little more punchy, but yeah, I mean, as someone who loves Sugarpill and does collect them, I'm very pleased to own this. I have been using the shadows and I've been inspired by them, but it's not something that I would wholeheartedly recommend, especially if this is going to be your first foray into Sugarpill shadows. Lipsticks, go for it. I think they're great. If they're colors you're going to wear, heck yes. Jay Kissa did a video, or she wore them in a video, where she mixed the lipsticks, and I did that yesterday, and it was awesome. It created this beautiful gray purple, and so really, if you're like, I like bold lipsticks, but pink and green are just too much for me, and you just really like dark lipsticks, they make a great pair together. It's just great to play around with it. So yeah, I would say that if you're into Little Twin Stars, if you're a Sugarpill nut like I am, go for it. Get something from the collection. If you want beautiful, colorful, intense pastels, maybe wait for the Strobe Cosmetics Creepy Cute palette, or try and find the Sigma Creme de Couture palette or something. That's going to get you something a little more oomph, you know, than the Sugarpill. But I've been enjoying the collection nonetheless, and I am absolutely in love with this lipstick. I know it's a little crazy, but I just love it with the pastel pink, and I'm like really into pastels right now, so I've been digging it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you want to check out Sugarpill, if you've gotten the collection, what you think of the collection. I know it's been kind of a divisive topic. Like, some people really, really love the palette and the collection as a whole, and some people are really turned off by it. I know it can be a little kiddish to some people, and like for me, like I didn't love the Clover palette from Too Faced because I just thought it was a little too kiddish for me, but somehow I can wrap my head around Sanrio. It's just totally a nostalgia thing probably, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was good talking to you again. It's been 40 minutes, which is just crazy. I'm going to try and put those looks in here if I can. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will hopefully talk to you guys soon. There are other things coming in the mail that I want to talk about. It's a matter of finding the time to sit down and turn on the lights and put my work aside. That's like holding me back. So I hope you guys are having a good one, and thank you again for watching, especially if you made it to the end. Like, thank you.